so far we completed basics about Linux. You know what is meant by Linux and how to launch and how to check and how to create your files. uh, so you know how to manage file systems, directory and everything, and also you know how to manage users, how to check file permissions, user permissions, how to change it, and how to add users, how to remove users. Okay, to add users, user add; to remove user, user del. Okay, that is a command. And yeah, so user management we completed. File permissions, giving a permissions, removing a permissions, chmod command, and creating a groups, removing a group, and changing the group, primary group of a particular user. So far we completed all the file, directory, permissions and structure, and then user accounts management. So now we are going to see the system management, which is very useful as a network engineer, as a security engineer, as a server engineer. So how your system behaving, because your firewall is a Linux server, so your firewall OS is itself a Linux, your router OS itself is a Linux. Okay, and your switch OS is itself a Linux, and you need to run the command to check the process. Okay, so that's why we are learning Linux. Okay, when your Linux boots up, these are the process going to take place. So not only Linux, even your Android phone, you are restarting your Android phone, right? So these are the stages it is going to perform. And even in your Windows also they have some process. So if you are getting struggle any one of the stage, it will won't load your OS operating system, and it will prompt some warnings or errors. So Linux boot process involves these stages. First it will check the firmware stage. Firmware means initial software, which is kind of invoking the hardware to check the status. And bootloader stage we have, and kernel stage we have, and then initialization stage. So we'll go and see each and every stage in detail. Okay, first one is firmware stage. In firmware stage, execution of a code in the BIOS for legacy system during the post. What is meant by post? Okay, so execute the code in the UEFI firmware for newer system during the post. So BIOS are like initial configuration checks. When your system is loading, you can ignore this step, because we are not running any legacy operating system, means old operating system. Every Linux system is UEFI firmware operating system. Okay, during the post. So power on, when you power on the system, PO, power on, S for self, T for test. Okay, power on self test. So what power on self test will do? So with this executive with the executive code, that is the firmware code, it will check the post. So what, either RAM is connected to the device? Yes. ROM, hard disk is present? Is that in that hard disk operating system is present? Yes. And then CPU is running good? Is CPU fans are running good? And then motherboard works fine? And input output devices, the touch screen or keyboard or mouse, all are working fine? Then it will check every connection and everything is properly working. Then it will go to start the bootloader. Where it is bootloader means your configuration file, your settings file. See, once you made a settings, or once you set a theme, you after restart also you will get the same theme, because you set the configuration, means you set some default settings or some your convenient settings. So those settings will be loaded from the bootloader. Okay, so we'll go in firmware stage. It mostly works in the post, power and self test. Either all peripherals or all input and output devices are connected and properly working or not. Mainly it will check RAM, ROM, CPU, whether they are properly working, and this firmware is able to find the OS in the hard drive. If it is able to find it, it will start the bootloader. Otherwise it will prompt for any errors. on screen error or blue screen errors. Okay, in the bootloader stage, your firmware executes the bootloader grub2 code on drive. We have more session on the grub2, no issues, just focus on that. We are going to discuss more things on the what is meant by grub2, what is it is. Okay, so on code on drive. So on drive means your disk C drive or else your primary disk or your ROM. It will check the firmware execute bootable code on the drive, which means a configuration file. Bootloader reads its configuration file. So what are the current configuration? Okay, and location depending on distribution of a BIOS, execute the kernel and related to the BIOS. So if you click on more info, you can direct to the website and we'll discuss there. Okay, so what is meant by grub2? So in Red Hat Enterprise Linux, not only in Red Hat, any Linux system, we have a grub2, means Grand Unified Bootloader. Grand Unified Bootloader, that is the standard of grub. What is meant by 2? 2 is the latest version. Okay, distributed version of 2, which is the latest version, which allows user to select the operating system or kernel to load at the boot time. So what is grub is doing, it allows operating system, okay, to select a operating system or kernel to the at the boot time. Grub2 also allows the user to pass argument to the kernel. So mainly grub2 works with the kernel. So what is meant by kernel? It is the heart of the Linux system. Okay, I already said, and it is kind of like DNA, how our human DNA works or any other DNA. Likewise, we have a kernel in Linux that is also a kind of DNA. Okay, with that kernel we can create different operating systems. So I already explained, like with the same Linux kernel, Samsung made their own operating system, like OnePlus, they made their own operating system, and Redmi, Realme, all these are Linux, but the options, features are their own flavors. Okay, so grub2 reads its configuration from the /boot. Okay, this file, if you want to search, you can go to .cfg. Okay, and let me permission denied, control A, sudo password for Shiva. Yeah, this is the file. It is going to check at the booting time. Okay, so here we are saying do not edit this file. If you edit this file, then your system will start struggling on issues. Okay, so it is automatically generated by grub2 mkconfig using templates. So from this location, okay, beginning, and so this is the completely like how to load a operating system at the earlier time when you restart, when you reboot. Okay, so all this is the code related to that file. That's it, no need to edit, but you have to understand, and we have more sessions, and you can go through this documentation if you want to get more details, but I don't recommend. It is just to understand the grub2, what is meant by grub2, and everything is there. Okay, you can simply go through if you want to know more about this. Okay, just now we saw the location of the grub2 file, and then next stage is kernel. So once the grub2 initiates the configuration file and the kernel stage, kernel loads the ROM disk into ROM. So what is meant by ROM? Hard drive. So in your hard disk, the system, like in your hard drive, your operating system is there, your initial configuration file is there. So what applications are need to load at the startup? సో మీరు చూడొచ్చు కొన్ని టైంలో మనకి స్టార్ట్అప్లోనే మన క్రోమ్ బ్రౌజర్ ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఓపెన్ అయిపోతుంది, బికాస్ ఇట్ ఈస్ యూ సెట్ ఏ సెట్టింగ్ టు లాంచ్ ద ఇన్స్టెంట్ వెన్ యూ రీస్టార్ట్ ది సర్వీస్ లైక్ దట్. ఓకే, సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అదేం చేస్తుందంటే మీ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్ బేస్ చేసుకొని ఈ కెర్నల్ స్టేజ్ అనేది వర్క్ అవుతుంది. కెర్నల్ లోడ్స్ డివైస్ డ్రైవర్స్ అండ్ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్ ఫైల్ ఫ్రమ్ ర్యామ్ డిస్క్. సో ఇట్ విల్ కీప్ ద ఫ్రమ్ క్యాచ్ మెమరీ ఫ్రమ్ హార్డ్ డిస్క్ నుంచి ర్యామ్ లోకి మీకు మూవ్ చేయడం వల్ల ఏంటంటే అది రన్నింగ్ టైంలోకి మూవ్ అవుతుంది అన్నట్టు. మౌంట్స్ రూట్ ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్స్ So mounts root file system like slash root. Under the slash, what are the files are there, it will mount all those files like slash etc slash home and slash dev and slash temp, all this file. And start initialization of stage. So all these are happen within fraction of seconds, guys. That's why your Linux operating system is loading very quickly. Okay. And in initialization stage, the grandfather process systemd started by the kernel. Okay, what is meant by grandfather process? That is also called a systemd. We will discuss in the in today itself only what is meant by process systemd, which is very very important, which is the first process which is going to start in the Linux when you restart a system or when you start a Linux system. Okay, that is we called as a grandfather. Okay, grandfather process. And the systemd starts system services. This only invoke all the systems first. For example, if uh, it, after loading the operating system, it need to start all the services, right? For example, SSH service, FTP service, HTTP service. So to start all these services, this grandfather process is very very important. That is called systemd. And we are going to see example. It starts login shell and GUI interface, for example. So we have user login bin bash, right? Like that. Okay, systemd finish the initial process and OS is ready to use. So it will start the initial process. We will learn about more about systemd and grub2 in this class. No worry. Okay, again grub2 automatically create a configuration. Why we are using grub2 is why we are using only grub2 for the initializing the hardware. Okay, సో మనం అంటే ఇనిషియల్గా మనం స్టార్ట్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఓన్లీ grub2నే ఎందుకు యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం, మిగతాయి లేవు అంటే మిగతాయి కూడా ఉంటాయి, వాటికి దీనికి డిఫరెన్స్ కూడా చూద్దాం. ఓకే, సో ఆటోమేటికలీ క్రియేట్స్ ఏ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్ ఫైల్, మాడ్యులర్ అండ్ ఎక్స్పాండబుల్. సో మోడర్న్ లాంగ్వేజ్, ఇట్ ఈస్ యూజింగ్ లేటెస్ట్ టెక్నాలజీ and built-in console. If you have problem while loading a OS, you can take a console and you can troubleshoot from there itself without loading a OS operating system. What does that mean? We'll discuss. Okay, support live boot and iOS images. Default bootloader for all Linux systems. In any Linux system, grub2 is the default bootloader. You may get interview question, what is meant by grub2? You can say all these questions and also link is there. Okay, it will automatically create a configuration and modular and expandable. It has a built-in console. If operating system is not loading properly, there is a issue, you can troubleshoot from the command prompt. Okay, it have a support, it will support live boot and iOS images. What is mean by iOS image? Just now we are going to install or the operating system image is called iOS image, and we are going to install that Kali Linux. And default bootloader for Linux, for every Linux operating system, grub2 is the default bootloader. These are the answers you can say in the interview. Okay, what are the alternative bootloaders? We have iOS Linux. So boots Linux from iOS optical disk. Like earlier at the stage of initial stage, we use disk like CD disk to watch a movie. So we have CD-ROM to, so that kind of stuff, but we are not using anymore. Sys Linux boots Linux from FAT format disk storage. So FAT is the one type of pen drive. In your pen drive, when you are formatting, you will see different formats. So one type of format is FAT. Okay, and Pixie Linux boots Linux from the Pixie network server. So this is also useful when you are not using iOS image, when you are not using loading the operating system from the pen drive. You can also install from the internet. At that time you can use Pixie network server. So these are the alternative, but by default we use grub2. So grub2 main features, it supports scripting, Linux scripting and dynamic module loading. So you can use multiple purpose custom menu and themes. You can customize your options, and you can also use different kind of themes, like in your phone also, in your Android also a Linux, and that Linux uses grub2, and you can use multiple themes for your operating system. Okay, UUID for storage locations. UUID stands for universal unique identifier for partitions. universal unique identifier for partition, like C partition, D partition, E partition. And the recovery console is there, and you can get to know CD by going to CD into boot to know some more details. Okay, so let's see. So control L, and so where you, let me switch to sudo root user so that it won't ask every time. Okay, and we know, right, every time I no need to explain about root user, path, file. So we did enough discussion on that. Now going forward we are not going to discuss anything. So for example, /boot, if I do ll, and here see, you can see grub2, okay, configuration file, and your image is there, and your image is like img image file, that is the like Amazon Linux, this is the operating system. For example, if I do ls-lh readable format, lh not lh, yeah, okay. So your image I have 14 MB and 3.5 MB KBs, so like human readable format when you give h. Okay, so so you have grub2. If you go to grub2 ll, so you have fonts, themes, okay, local, so just like your phone themes, guys. Okay, so this is the initial configuration. And also so where it is there, if you want to run this command, ls blk, okay, here you can see all the system partitions in your server. You have like main partition xpedia, okay, that is 8 GB. So when you installing, your hard disk is 8 GB, xpedia 1 partition 8 GB, and some part is sub portions are there 1 MB, 10 MB. So this is the way you can check the partitions. Like how to check partitions in your C drive, by going to this PC, you will see C drive, D drive, E drive, right? In Linux you can go to you can run this command to check the partitions. This is also a useful command. Okay, and if you want to install, for example, you don't have a grub2, or if you want to install a grub2, you can install grub2, okay, in the any location. For example, where I want to install, so there is a one dev folder. So when you do ls-l under root, so everything we discussed about home, and under this home we have n number of users. Okay, we discussed about the temp file is the fully accessible for every user. Okay, and also we discussed about the etc most of the time, /etc ssh config /etc shadow /etc groups /etc passwords. So everything we discussed more thing. And now we are seeing /boot. Okay, if you recall, so what we are doing is we are simply learning each and every directory, what is there and how to use it. Okay, and /boot, we have all bootable things, like how to boot a system. So if you go to boot, these are the things, right? Just now we discussed. So show boot, if I do ll, okay, so you have EFI, grub2, loader, and your image files, everything. Okay, so this is your image file. So all the booting, your system boot options are there in the boot. Is what is meant by boot? So to launch the operating system, when you turn on the PC, when you turn on the phone, or when you turn on the server, so there is a boot system is there. Okay, that's what we are learning. And then to install this grub2, there is a dev folder. Where is that? /dev, yep, dev folder. So this is the developer folder, and you can see, and you can install all tools here. Okay, /etc dev, if you do ll, okay, see your partitions also all are there here. And tty, your terminal session. Terminal is nothing but this terminal. Okay, if I open this one, and if I use if I enter username and password, and if I run this is one more terminal. That is the main by terminal. Okay, and nvram, rom, random, and loops, CPU details, disk details. Okay, so this is the mainly related to your hard disk or your operating system, your machine /dev. So here also you can install, here only you can install this grub2. Okay, so to install, I came to home directory, control L or clear, sudo grub2 install. You can div tab, okay, where you have to install /dev/sda. okay, so this is the command to install. Okay, installation finished, no error reported. Okay, installation on i36 PC platform. This is the model of the Linux server. Okay, and for example, you install and you want to apply the changes, so you no need to run sudo. Sorry, I'm giving a sudo because I am already root user. Okay, so grub2, if I give 2 times tab, sorry, it is not grub, grub2. Okay, if I give 2 times tab, it is giving all the options. So Amazon setup, BIOS setup, edit environment, files, get kernel settings. Okay, so for example, if I want to change the get kernel settings, okay, and export grub default to debug. So these are the kernel settings, and grub2 set password. సో ఇవి లైక్ ఈ విధంగా మనం అన్ని చెక్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. బట్ దీని గురించి పెద్దగా మీకు తెలుసుకోవాల్సింది ఏంటి అంటే పెద్ద కన్ఫ్యూజ్ కావద్దు, ఎందుకంటే మీకు ఇనిషియల్ స్టేజ్లో ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి. గ్రబ్ అనేది బూట్ లోడర్, one of the Linux bootloader. It is a default and which is modern and it supports the scripting. ఈ విధంగా మీరు చెప్పేస్తే సరిపోతుంది, ఐ డోంట్ నో అనకుండా సింపుల్గా. ఓకే, so after installing that, if you want to make apply the changes, you can use grub2. And what are the options we have? Oops, this is not grub2. Okay, what are the options we have? There is a mk config, so yep, mk config to apply these changes. Mk config, so all the latest changes or any changes are there, it will be applicable. Like after installing or after creating a users, how we are doing a system, the start a service, stop a service. Grub2 is the firmware, like it interacts with the hardware to help to load the OS. It is not a software also. Okay, it is called, we call them as a firmware. So to invoke the hardware to support, after invoking the hardware, so they will interact with the operating system, then operating system interact with the applications. What are the applications are there, or what are the apps are there in your machine, likewise it will go. Okay, so boot time means when you like for example, just imagine your laptop is in shutdown stage. Okay, and you are pressing a power button to switch on the your PC, right? So when you pressing the power button, it will take couple of minutes depending on your system performance. So it will turn on keyboard lights and it will take, your OS is loading, and after that you will get a login prompt, right? So what happened in that what happened in that minute is called a boot time. That time is called a boot time. So once you turn on, when you press the button, power button, and you wait for few minutes, either 30 seconds or 10 seconds or even 1 minute depending on your system performance. Okay, you will get a login screen. So that time is called a boot time. What happened that boot time is, it is going to load the grub2 verify the CPU, RAM, ROM, everything is attached or properly. It will do the post checks, power on self test. All are working fine, then only your operating system will load. Otherwise it will throw an error or your system will not start. Okay, these are all our initial checks. That is called a boot time. Boot time means from the power button, when you click on the power button and you will get the screen, login screen, that time is called boot time. Is it clear?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
So basically in Linux we can tell that whenever we are giving the IP address, and whenever we are launching the instance, we can tell that, right?
Yeah, when you are
Yeah,
not only
whatever the
launching,
time.
when you are turning on this instance,
Okay.
turning on or turning
Okay.
off. So launching means you are creating a new server.
Okay.
Okay.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
not only Linux, even your phone also. Boot time is when you power on, when you are restart also. That is also a boot time. So you press the restart. Now it will go on at a couple of minutes to shut down and then uh, turn on. So that time is also called a boot time. In that time your system is, if your system is working fine, everything will good and you can get the operating system. If something is wrong, you won't get it. So sometimes you may see, right, your operating system is not turning on. Even Windows also, not only Linux. Okay, that time is called boot time mainly. So at
Okay.
that time, what is happening between the operating system and between the hardware, that's what we are learning here.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
And one more thing, Shiva.
Yeah.
So in last week, not in last week, before week, whenever we are trying to connect with the another user which we have been created, we are facing the issue.
Yep.
Do you remember? So due to that, you have been restarted the SSHD package.
Yep.
So that will be come under boot type.
No, no, only we restarted SSHD. Means we are not touching all the service, only particular service we are touching. So that is
Okay.
called system D. That we are going to talk. So I already said,
Okay.
right, grandfather system D. So that is called
Yes.
system D, we are going to talk. So the boot service is completely you are restarting. If you are restarting, for example, your system got hanged or your phone got hanged and you are not able to restart, you press the power button and then you are restart it. That is called boot time. So booting
Okay,
means
sure.
you are completely restarting the system. Okay.
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. And maintaining a process, and because in Linux, in big servers, or else in critical application, for example Zomato is there, or else Bookmyshow is running their own server. Due to one issue, if they restart, they will lose the access to, customers will lose the access to book the tickets. So that should not happen. Because of one service, they should not reload entire system. That's why we use system D's, process IDs. If something is wrong, we are going to kill that process only, not entire system. Okay, that's we are going to learn now. Maintaining process and system services. For example, likewise, if any one of the service is not working properly, or you want to run the service, you want to stop the service, how to check it, how to run, and how to stop it. So we are going to see this. So that is called maintaining a process and system services. So for example, just imagine, just basic thing to understand what is meant by service, what is meant by process. Okay, program execution. Solid state disk SSD, either it is hard disk or it is SSD. So which means a hard drive, which is a C drive, a D drive, or any your RAM in your phone. Sorry, in ROM. RAM means system memory. It is a temporary memory, and it will turn off when you turn off the operating system, or when you turn off the your laptop, or when you turn off the server. So solid state disk, which is SSD, all your operating system is there, all your Chrome browser, WhatsApp, Windows Explorer, or else YouTube, and whatever applications you install, all are installed in the solid state drive. Here example we take LibreOffice, which is a similar kind of MS Office. So in Linux we have free open source office that is called LibreOffice. Okay, you can launch Ubuntu and you can install all this free of cost. But is that MS Office is free for us? No. Okay, we need to pay MS for example, you have a LibreOffice in your Linux system and you want to load that into system memory, right? So that is so it is in the hard disk and you are loading into the RAM. So what is the interconnection of RAM and ROM? You have to understand this one also, otherwise you will be confused. Anyway, you guys may learn in your schooling or in your college, or you maybe forgot, so just want to recap. Okay, so this is called ROM. Yeah, this is called ROM, read only memory. This is called RAM, a random access memory. For example, you have 64 GB of ROM in your phone and 8 GB of RAM, right? So what is the interconnection between the everything? So in your RAM or in your ROM, you have OS, operating system, Linux or Android, and all your like Chrome browser is there, WhatsApp is there, and then mobile extem is there, and for example, Adobe Photoshop for editing, Adobe Photoshop is there, and Adobe Premiere Pro is there for audio editing, and Epic Pen is there for writing. Okay, and all these files are there. So when you turn off your your PC, so all these are there in the ROM only. So when you turn on your OS cache memory, everything will load to your 8 GB of RAM. It need to be shared. That is taken care by kernel or operating system. Okay, and if you are clicking a, like if you are launched a Chrome browser, okay, earlier it is a in the hard disk. When you launching, it will create a some cache memory, and it went to the RAM, and it will load it. Okay, so likewise, when you are launching or when you are running any application, it need to go to the RAM, from ROM to RAM, and when you turn off your PC, it will come back to the ROM. Okay, this is the process. And to every application, it is a Windows or it is a Linux, whatever. So to make this process from year to year, we call this is a process. Just now I said it is a process. So for every process we have a process ID. Okay, what is process ID? To launch your application from operating system to RAM and run it. Okay, for example, you want to run launch a one video game. So your game is there in your hard disk and you are launching it, then it will go to ROM. Okay, that's why we have a small amount of ROM. If it is out of space, your system will start hanging. Okay, then you have to close other applications to free up this RAM. Okay, I hope it is bit clear. Is it clear, or do you have any difference problem with the hard disk, RAM, ROM, guys?
No, from my side.
Yeah, thank you. So for everything there is a process that need to be run in the back end. Okay, for example, in your in your Windows also, I can show you task manager. I already showed n number of times. Again, I am opening task manager, and I will show you how your background applications are working, and how it is mapped with process. Okay, come here. So this is the task manager, and my see I opened VirtualBox and the memory location. So we discussed n number of times this. All these active applications, these are all our background applications, and their CPU utilization, memory utilization, disk utilization, network utilization, means how much Wi-Fi they are using it. Okay, if you are not able to close or your application is hanged, you can select this and you can restart the task. So you are not restarting entire system here, only you are restarting if your Chrome is not working properly, your Chrome get hanged, you can end that and you can restart it. Okay, so in this way you are not restarting your entire system, you are just restarting your particular service. So here we don't have any process IDs, but in your Linux everything works with process. Okay, every program, when you are executing every program, means all these applications are developed by program only. Again, here what is a program? Don't think in that way. Okay, your operating system is designed by programming, your Chrome browser is designed by programming, your Epic Pen, any software is designed with any one of the code, whether it is a C Sharp, .NET, Java. Okay, so when you execute the program, there is a process is created, and each and every process there is a unique process ID that is running in the background. That is a simple thing I need to explain. Okay, I hope you guys understand very clearly. Oh. Okay, an instant of a program that is being executed on a CPU from memory. You understood, right? A process is an instant of program that is being executed on a CPU from memory process resources. So it uses memory, CPU time. So how much time? If you want to play a game for 1 hour, so 1 hour that CPU time is taken. CPU load is there, right? If you want to chat with someone on your WhatsApp, so how much time you open that WhatsApp app, still that time is called CPU time. Okay, memory, how much time. And every application they run with the process ID. Okay, for example, every process ID, when you reboot, I already said, again we are going back to the topic. When you boot, your system will run, right? Your operating system will run. So at that time, the system D, the father, grandfather of the all the process, is called system D. He created, and his process ID is 1. And with that there is a sub process like SSHD, because you are SSHing into the system by using EC2 user or Shiva user, then you have a separate process ID. Okay, if you want to copy a file, at that time FTP will run. If you want to browse a browser, then HTTP service will be run. Okay, so every process has an ID. Processes are started by parent process, because grandfather system D is starting all this backend process. And if you want to kill sub process, you can kill. If you want to kill main process, you can kill. If you kill this grandfather, your system will be completely down. Don't kill system D process. Okay, process can span child processes, obviously. So this process again create other process, this process again create other process. Likewise, to know what process is running, ps process, ps is the command. Okay, ps. So currently I have PID of all these PIDs: sudo, super user, bash, ps I just now ran. So all are from process ID 1 PID. Okay, and also you can use top command, not only ps. Now you can see PID 1, user, root, process ID. Okay, and PR, nice levels, and resource utilization, CPU, memory, time, and command. See, if you do system D, you can see this. So that process ID is 1, and that is running by root user. If you kill this system D, your system completely down. Okay, so for example, if you take anyone. Okay, so if you take this process, and this process ID is 6. Okay, so in this way you can see anything. And let me show one more thing, simple example. Let me log in with the other user. Yeah, let me log in with the other user, and then we'll show you something. Yeah, this time I log into the EC2 user. I'm not giving the PEM key because EC2 user also have password based authentication. I gave wrong password. Okay, now if you see, you can Q for quit. Again run the top command. Okay, here all you are seeing is root user, not EC2 user levels. Okay, we'll continue, and I will explain how to verify, how to kill the process, whether it is working or not, in now itself. Okay, just bear with me. So we know ps process ID command, and also we have top command to verify all this, and we'll go and discuss each and every command in detail. Okay, and let's run these commands one by one. So clear. PS to know process. Okay, these are the TTY means currently active. Okay, for example, let's get more details. PS hyphen EF, full details. F means. Okay, so now you can see Shiva, what he did, and ECT user. Okay, so he logged in and just active. Okay, and if you want to know uh, PS3. Okay, PS3 like tree command hyphen P. So in the tree structure of process, each and every process, SSHD. Okay, these are the process. So for SSHD, this is the parent and sub parent. Okay, you can see tree structure. So everything is start from the grandparent, that is system D1. Okay, for example, let's see anything. SSHD, where is the SSHD, right? And FTP, that's it. PS, Amazon. Okay, for example, let's see here. You can see the ECT user. What is the ECT user process ID? So this is the PID, right? Just want to go up. Okay, so PID of ECT user is this one. If I try to kill this process ID, let's see what happened. Or else he logged in. Okay, see ECT user logged in with the process ID, this one. SSHD ECT user, he logged in with this process ID. Okay, and he is able to access it. And as a root user, let me kill his login. Okay, kill and then his ID. And if you see here, see, he logged out itself. This is how your process ID is working. For example, if you are running any service, for example HTTP or HTTPD service, then if you want to stop this service, then you can use kill command to kill that process. Means that user is logged out itself. To log in again, you have to press R and then log in as a, this time let me Gamya, and then give me the password. So once I logged in, so your process is created here. Okay, how to verify? PS hyphen EF. Here you can see Gamya. So at terminal session with privileges, C logged in. Okay, if I want to delete this process, you can delete it. If you want to remove Shiva from this process, you can remove like that. Okay, so in this way you can check, and to see a hierarchical way, you can use PS tree, like normal T command. We are with PS, you are going to see all the processes in the hierarchical way, and grandfather is here. Okay, that is a simple meaning. We are from our grandfathers, right? Likewise, so from our grandfathers we have fathers, and fathers to you to your son, likewise. Okay, um, and let me explain something more about top command. So here you have your ID and who is the user running that. Okay, and PR, priority, NI, nice levels, I will tell you. And CPU, you can ignore this one. Resource, what are the resources, and CPU load, memory load. Okay, and you can see top command is showing your system is up from 3 days 5 hours 41 minutes. Means I did not shut down my system from last Friday, so that's why it is running from 3 days, and currently 3 users are there. Okay, who are those? Root user, Gamya, and Shiva. Okay, to know more details about that, you can run W. Okay, see, Shiva is logged in, and with Shiva privileges, Shiva has other session also. Gamya is also there. Okay, this is for Shiva with 0 is root privileges. Shiva with Shiva as a regular user, and Shiva also a root user. Okay, 0 means root user. Okay, and PTS means terminal sessions, 0, 1, 2. How many users are logging? Depending on that, these numbers will going to increase. Okay, you can type W or who. both will give same thing. Okay, here also, but with the IP address, with that who command, when he logged in, at what time he logged in, with which IP he logged in, everyone is logged in and the same IP, because this is my public IP, guys, because I logged in from my internet. Okay, we'll discuss about what is mean by public IP, private IP in networking classes, no issues, so that you can get more details. Okay, now let's go and dig into the top command one more time. Here you want, if you want to see load levels, you can press L. Okay, so if you see, where is that, let me press again. So here we are not running many commands. Okay, if you want to see memory, you can press M. Okay, memory percentage, so you can see that pattern is matching, right? So here total memory, how much it is, used memory. Okay, if you want to kill any process from here itself, you can press K, and then it is asking us to kill, enter the PID. Okay, by default it pick one of the ID. If you want to kill this process, you have to give 16. Okay, now it is going to kill, and other session will run with the same pre-ID. Okay, yep, and yep, that's it for most of that. We also see kill, and also other command, kill all. Let me escape, then Q. Okay, we'll learn more about this every going forward. We will use PS, top, kill. Okay, so just now you understand how you are going to use. Okay, we'll discuss more in upcoming classes, no worry about that. And next one is, you have to learn about nice levels, guys. So what is meant by nice level? Okay, so unprivileged user, privileged user. What is meant by unprivileged user, privileged user? Unprivileged user is a regular user. He don't have any privileges. He have just a normal user. He don't have rights to install applications or execute any file or view any file. Okay, privileged user is mainly is a administrator. Okay, he can manage the operating system. Okay, so nice levels are from plus 19 to minus 20. Default nice levels are 0, -1, in between 0, -1. Okay, so if nice levels are high, then low CPU load. If nice levels are low, then high CPU load, like inversion. For example, you can see here, see, nice level is for example, nice level is very less. Okay, you're going to see the more CPU load. Okay, I can show you that practically, no issues. Where is that command prompt? So if you run the top command again, you can see all these nice levels. Okay, so nice levels are and priority are inversion. Okay, means 0 and -20. See, all minus values you are seeing here, which means minus negative values of nice levels will utilize more CPU levels. Okay, for example, if you want to increase nice level for process, any process. Okay, let me take any process, for example, process 10. Okay, so let me see how to increase that nice level. Okay, or else you can decrease or increase. For example, as a root user, right, I want to create nice level by using renice and hyphen n level. I'm going to set -1. Okay, and then process ID. Okay, I'm going to give process ID 2. Okay, 2 is the root. I'm just checking. So this is the 2 means this is the process IDs, right? I'm just taking 2. Okay, now old priority to new priority. If I run the top command, see, the 2 is -2 nice level. Okay, but it is not using that much of CPU because all these are very less are background applications, guys. That's why we are not seeing much CPU loads, because we don't have any applications installed in our operating system. We are not running any web server. Okay, when you run the web server and if you give the priority to that web server to -1, then you can observe CPU loads. Always we are seeing very less CPU load here. That's why I'm not able to show you. Okay, but we reset process ID nice level to -1. Likewise, nice levels are, if nice levels are negative, it consumes more CPU load. So when it is useful, for example, you are running a one web server which is not fast, so at that time what you do, you can increase the negative value of nice level to -20 of web server service, HTTP or HTTPD, so that it can utilize more CPU load. Then if it is utilizing more CPU load, then it will perform more, right? Obviously, means that website will respond very quickly. If it is not happening that in that way, then you can restart the web HTTPD service, or else sometimes if it is not working, then you have to restart the entire service. So in this way we can see and utilize nice levels. Okay, guys, so I'm going to stop here. Anyway, we are running out of time. Tomorrow we are going to see installations. Yeah, thank you, guys.